Hi, and welcome to the Korero Solutions YouTube channel. Today, we're going to talk about how to get people talking.
So the first thing that we'd like to talk about is the environment. How do you make sure that you've got an environment set up that's perfect for a conversation between individuals? What are some aspects that are important in remembering when you're setting up the environment? So first thing we'll start off with is make sure it's private. If you want to have a conversation with just one other person, make sure that you've selected a location that's going to have the least amount of disruptions or that allows privacy, that if they do want to say something, that they feel free that they can and nobody's going to overhear your conversation. Or even if they become emotional, that they can freely do so, that they can freely cry or show a little bit more emotions without anybody around them witnessing what's going on in the conversation.
Yeah, and part of the environment is the time of day. If it's a real in-depth conversation that you need to have, scheduling something for the end of the day Friday is not going to be the correct time in order to have that conversation.
That's exactly right. Especially if it's something that has to do with something somebody will ruminate about all weekend and then come back with questions. If you can introduce something to someone like on a Tuesday, usually late morning, early afternoon, that way they've had an opportunity to come into work, catch up on a few things, but yet not exhausted at the end of the day or wanting to hurry up and leave so that they can go home to their families at the end of the day.
And if you have employees that aren't face-to-face, making sure that those conversations are still happening in private. So we're not debriefing or you're not having these conversations at a time that people that don't necessarily need to be there are involved in them.
So the next part is open-ended questions. How do you get people talking the most about a topic is to not narrow the field so tightly that they will just provide you a yes or no answer.
We really want to make sure that you're not asking these questions in order to get the information that you want to hear. When you want to get people talking, it's typically so that you get their perspective. So asking those questions without having those preconceived notions about this is what this person better say or I'm going to have this reaction. You need to go in with an open mind and allowing that time and space for the person to fully articulate their perspective.
Yeah, so it's not like an interrogation to make sure that the story that you tell yourself in your mind, that they're just filling in the blanks to make sure that the story that you have is exactly the way you believe it to be. If you do that, people catch on pretty quickly and they will just shut down. They'll say, well, if you've already got the story, why are you asking me the questions?
Yeah, look at your past behavior and how it has impacted the way that people actually want to speak to you. So if you go in and you're saying, I need to get my people talking in these meetings, and before they've all shut down, look for feedback as to what has happened in the past. Hey, so-and-so, I've noticed that in meetings, you haven't really offered your perspective. Can you give me some honest feedback as to what I could do to help you engage more during that time, to want to share your thoughts? And make sure they know that there's not going to be repercussions. This is about giving you feedback to improve. This isn't about lambasting them with reasons that they should be stepping up and they should be doing better. This is about you. This isn't about them. So make sure to take that feedback and that they know that they can be honest and frank. Otherwise, there's no way that you're going to grow and get better at this.
Exactly. And if you're looking for ways to engage staff to have that conversation or to start talking, a lot of individuals need the time and the space in order to offer their suggestions or recommendations. So we've all attended those meetings where it looks like quite a lively conversation. Everybody's given their feedback. And then out of 10 people, 2 people walk out and think, wow, I didn't even get an opportunity to say my piece. So a way to ensure that you're engaging everyone within the meeting is to literally go around the table, give them, ask them by name, do you have something that you would like to add? and then give that little bit of silence or time and space for them to start their conversation. Sometimes you'll go around, they'll say, no, I've got nothing more to say. At least you've provided the opportunity for them to give their input. Because if you don't provide that time and space, a lot of times they don't jump in and interrupt other people. They'll just walk out of the meeting without giving any of their opinions or concerns.
And if you do notice that that's happening a lot with specific people that are on your team, go in with questions to specifically ask them that they can't necessarily opt out of. So if you know that somebody has expertise in the area and the thing that you are discussing, give them the opportunity to say, Jane, we're discussing so and so, such and such. What has your experience been in the past? This doesn't allow them to sit back and say, I have nothing, because they know that you have this information. So ask them those questions. Go in prepared. This is part of your job with leading a meeting and getting these people engaged. Make sure that you have something tangible that they can offer that also sets them up for success. Chances are you're going to have people that have fantastic information, but they're nervous because either they're missing a small percentage, so they feel like they're going to be called out for being incompetent, or they don't feel like they are experts in the field, even though they have a vast knowledge and understanding of what's going on. Allow that opportunity to highlight them, highlight their expertise, pull on their past experience, because everybody has something that they can teach the group.
Exactly. So what we'd like you to do right now, just before we go to our last point, is if you can pop below and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So the last aspect we'd like to talk about is to ensure that if you're asking for a brainstorming session, if you're talking that you've opened it up to everyone and you'd like their feedback, their concerns, their thoughts, make sure that there's nobody in the room, including yourself, that's judging those opinions, concerns, beliefs. And if you can document them, so as soon as you write something down, you have validated for that individual that what they're saying has importance, because it's important enough that you note it. So there's two things that go on. Make sure that you're not judging what people are saying at that time, and that you're writing down what is important to each individual that they express.
So this is not about looking at something and saying, okay, why will this work? Why doesn't this work? This is about, hey, I have an idea. Boom, that's a bad idea. Nope, we're not going to do that. This is going to make people shut down.
Yeah.
Instead, if you can say, okay, so how would that impact such and such? Have them answer the questions that you have concerns about, as opposed to shutting them down completely. They're not going to learn anything except for to not offer their opinion. So make sure that if they offer something and you may not agree with it, ask them questions about it instead.
Yeah.
How did you come to this? What is your past experience with this? When have you seen this work? What challenges has this brought in the past? Ask them. You're going to get them to open up and give you more information, as opposed to shutting down and deciding that that's it. I've done this before, and I'm done, because I hate feeling incompetent. I don't want to put my hand up ever again. You're going to make them disengage, and that's the opposite of what we want here. We want to encourage people to come to the table and say, hey, they actually value it, and I've learned something from this experience, as opposed to, I'm never doing that again. I'm done coming to these meetings.
That's exactly.
So as our action today, we want you to leave a comment below as to what have you done in the past, or what has somebody done that has made you want to engage in a conversation? What gets you excited about talking? Let us know. Share that information with the people in the comment section below.